we're looking at Roma Napoli here. This is Sunday at 2:45. These are two really good teams. Napoli burnt us like to a crisp the last time we had them on the show. So let's get a little redemption here. Tell me what you're looking at and what should be a really good match between the two.
Yeah, so again, this is just Napoli money line. Roma really struggle again on the road versus top sides. This is one of those instances. Juve's point reduction is massive. Minus 15.
Why don't
Milan.
you tell people a little bit about that? Honestly, now that we're on the
Oh,
topic.
okay. So, well, there's a lot to unpack with this. So there's multiple cases against Juventus.
Uh-huh.
And the 15-point deduction is coming from a plus Valenza case. Plus Valenza is basically a term for just profit from player sales. They've been accused and prosecuted for inflating player prices. Like say a mediocre player gets sold to a terrible side like Genoa, who's now in Serie B, not a good side. And they're having their record-breaking transfer sales for a mediocre to terrible player that Juventus sold. Juve's benefiting from that. That's what's coming into this. The prosecutors initially asked for a 9-point deduction, and then the court was saying, we're giving you minus 15. And an important part to say here is, as well, bookies have stopped potential Juventus relegation bets because there's more cases impending.
Yeah.
And one of those cases is a salary maneuvering. So when COVID hit, COVID was coming down financially hard on everybody. And Juve, being a publicly traded company, obviously has more impact in terms of what they say publicly in statements or deferring player salaries where players were taking a wage cut and they would try and pay them back over time. We've seen other clubs struggle with this. Essentially what happened, from what we know, is that at the time, a few years ago when COVID happened, Juve publicly stated that, hey, we are going to be taking wage cuts for players and they won't be getting their full salaries that they agreed to. But under the table in WhatsApp chats, what happened was Juve were telling the players that we're still going to pay you fully despite what we're saying publicly. That is called financial fraud. Okay. Stock market manipulation. This isn't just what has to do with the league. These are financial crimes. This is why their entire board resigned at the end of the day. Cristiano Ronaldo is involved in this. He's going to have to come back to Italy in March to go and discuss this. It's already been said that Paulo Dybala has talked to prosecutors and said, yes, during the WhatsApp chat, Chiellini was telling the players, just sign this agreement. We will still pay you in full. And you know what? Juve benefits from that because if their stock market is not taking as big of a hit as we would have thought, then that means they could reinvest more. If they're able to reinvest more, that means their team benefits from that and they're able to be on the pitch with better quality as opposed to teams like Inter, or Milan, or Roma, or Napoli, where they have to sell off players just to survive and not go bankrupt. And that's where Juve was benefiting from this. And again, they haven't gotten a points deduction from that yet. It's harder to prove subjectivity on the value of a player, which is why they're trying to fight the plus Valenza point deduction. But make no mistake here, we might not see Juve be in European competition for a couple of years because UEFA is going to hunt them down for this because it's a breach of financial fair play. We'll see what happens in the Court of Appeals because we've seen Manchester City and PSG have some issues with this. But again, Italian clubs don't have great luck with this. And Juve might be really screwed here. I think you're going to see player sales over the summer. You already see Weston McKennie probably on his way out, going to Leeds, joining the other Americans. Juve are in deep you-know-what, and it's not looking good for them. And then again, this affects future markets, top four stuff. What is Roma into? The top four markets are shut down across the board because of this. So it's really fascinating to see. All I'm saying is, don't bank on Juve anytime soon to win anything because the rumor is another 20-point deduction incoming. So we'll see what happens. That's minus 35 for Juve. I don't even think they had 35 points on the season to begin with. So that'll explain everything for you there. So as far as things go for Napoli, Roma at this point, Napoli also might be at risk. The prosecutors want to come in and investigate their deal for Victor Osimhen, who's been the top scorer in the league so far. There were rumors of when they purchased him, it was $70 million, and now it's all the way fluctuated. They were trying to sell some youth team players that had inflated prices, so that kind of goes along the lines of what happened with Juve. The rumor is it might be 9-point deduction, but the way other teams have been struggling, I'm just saying on the outside looking in, there's half a season to play. If Napoli get a 9-point deduction here, that closes the gap with that. Maybe something happens. There's a player injury, and then all of a sudden those Serie A future markets open back up. But we would have to wait for that. But at this moment in time, Napoli are clearly the best team in this league. They get Kvaratskhelia back this weekend, who's been the best player in the league, and they were winning games without him recently. As we said, Roma not looking great, and over 2.5 is almost even money in most books. For me, the way Napoli has been playing this season, I think that's something I really like with them. They're creating so many chances. They're finishing their chances. Over the weekend, they probably should have had 4 goals. They had 1 offside, 1 terrible finish, and that was without their best player. So for me, Roma is vulnerable at times. They're a good defensive side. Nicolo Zaniolo is probably on his way out and not playing, so that's 1 less player for them. Dybala, Tammy Abraham looking great. But again, I just really like Napoli with this, and they're going to continue this dominance. They get 3 points here. I mean, it's a wrap, match day 20, and that's crazy to say. First time in 33 years
in
for the
theory.
title. It would be the greatest collapse of all time that you would ever see in Serie A history. 3-point era, 2-point era, doesn't matter. This would be the most epic collapse you'd ever see. I'm just not thinking that's going to happen, even though I am a Mets fan, right? I lived through 2007, so
yeah, we've all been there. I lived through this year, even. Not to be boring, but it's Napoli money line, and it's over 2.5 for me. Again, like if you wanna bank on Napoli winning comfortably, and you wanna take Napoli minus 1.5 on the spread, I could give you a little extra juice there. But I think this is one I don't look into too much. I'm not taking the under 2.5 because Napoli burnt me one time, and then we saw 6 total goals, even though we had the 2 best defenses. No, I'm not still bitter about that, but I'm rocking with Napoli money line and over 2.5 in this one. I'm telling you, again, sorry if it's boring, but that's the play to go for here.
Hey, Napoli at home, just consistency, trust the process, trust the trends. I mean, listen, if you get burned like we did, whatever, like it was 5-1. It was the most epic win in the past 20 years for them, almost 30. So again, if you lose, let it be something that's a complete outlier in terms of trends in history. So again, I mean, this is just all Napoli. If you're not really betting on them, again, Victor Osimhen, Zielinski. Maybe if there's a penalty involved in here, Roma are really just a side that they're capable of making mistakes and stupid penalized fouls. You could see something like that. Napoli is just so good. They're so much better than everything else. And again, if you want to look at Asian handicap markets, there's some value there. So again, this is just all Napoli. I can't see it going any other way. If anything, if Roma were to get anything from this, just a draw. There's no way I see them winning on the road here. It would be incredible for them. But also look at top 4 markets when they open back up. I think Roma is primed out of all the teams outside looking in to finish in the top 4.
If you're curious, best number for both teams to score is minus 105. Don't think I'm pulling the trigger, but it's there if you want it. He's Martino Puccio from the State of the Play pod, also on the Athletic Football Betting. I'm Matthias Wellman. Martino, I will talk to you same time, same place next week. Let's win some bets this weekend. Why don't we?